Being the only INFJ in your family causes 4 difficulties. INFJ personality type in a 4-person family. My entire world changed when I first took the Myers-Briggs type indicator and discovered my personality, and mostly for the better. I finally realized who I was. I didn't feel like there was anything wrong with me anymore. Knowing there were other INFJs in the world made me happy. Naturally, after I passed the test, I wanted everyone else in my life to do the same. My mother is an ISFJ, my younger brother is an ISTP, and my father is an INFP. The outcomes were fantastic because they made so much sense. I began to genuinely comprehend my family's actions and cognitive processes. I could see their motivations for doing things and where they were coming from. And all this digging was fun for my INFJ brain. But unavoidably, there were some unpleasant moments as well. I was able to deeply comprehend the problems I had always experienced in my family life after I became aware of their personalities and recognized both theirs and mine. Sure, every family has issues, but if you're the only INFJ in yours, these issues may be greatly exaggerated for you. Being the only INFJ in your family can be difficult. 1. I have to win everyone over. INFJs are sensitive and pro-peace. They detest fighting. We simply want everything to go as smoothly as possible, and we frequently assume the most of the blame for this. We detest upsetting other people, as well as when we neglect to put away the laundry or wash the dishes. And an irate parent is the outcome. Because we always want to win favor and make people happy, we can be very harsh on ourselves when we make mistakes. I've occasionally neglected to complete tasks that my parents had asked me to complete. Their disappointment and occasionally their rage has been agonizing, and I carried it with me all day. INFJs strive to stay out of confrontation, but when we are the ones to blame for it, we despise ourselves. It might make us cry. It may completely spoil our day. Nothing would make us happier than for the frustration, rage, and chaos of the situation to end, but we can't stop apologizing. We may go to any lengths to make amends because we cannot stand the thought of a family member being upset with us. We merely desire a blank slate. Of course, the INFJs need to please others is not universal. We INFJs have a tendency to become aggressive when we feel mistreated or are subjected to an unjust situation. And if one member of the family is abusing or bullying another, be careful because that's when our inner dragon with fire breath emerges. 2. I can sense every ounce of tension in this home. Similar to point number 1, we are deeply affected when a member of the family is angry with someone else, even if it isn't ourselves. A stressful and unpleasant home can become very difficult for us since INFJs absorb other people's emotions, read people well, and take on other people's responsibilities without realizing they're doing it. We might experience breathing difficulties. When we are unable to remedy it, we may feel helpless and agonizingly so. I want to cry, for instance, when my mother is upset with my brother or when my parents are fighting. Every sarcastic remark, slammed door, and angry discussion seems like a stabbing to my heart. I can't handle it. A weight of the world feels excessively heavy, like if it were coming down on my shoulders. I believe that sometimes people underestimate how insightful and sensitive the INFJ is. We INFJs may experience the rage of 2 persons as if we are directly involved in the conflict. 3. You are more known to me than you are to yourself. INFJs are adept at interpreting others. We can read body language and covert emotions, but we can also spot patterns in previous and present behavior. I frequently interpret my family's behavior, for instance, reading into their interactions and dissecting their past to understand their present. When I consider where and who my parents are today, I've learned as much as I can about their past since it has been so helpful. INFJs may find it upsetting when their family appear to be unaware of their own intentions and goals. It looks crystal obvious to us and offers helpful explanations. They see no significance in it. Be aware that not all of our psychological interpretations are accurate. Yes, we have a great sixth sense, but we are unable to read minds and can only make inferences based on the information that is available to us. INFJs are special because we constantly ponder, analyze, and seek to understand the meaning behind what we observe. Sadly, when I've tried to bring up this topic with my family and explain how I perceive their subconscious controlling their behavior, they have brushed me off and refused to engage in a conversation about it. They view it as absurd. They don't notice the pattern I do, or perhaps they simply choose not to. 4. I want to solve everybody's issues. Truth is, we're incredibly sensitive, and we want nothing more than to help others and keep the peace. However, INFJs can be people pleasers, dislike conflict, and are constantly dissecting emotions, which could be called our martyr complex. People should realize their full potential. We want to witness healthy partnerships. Sadly, there are instances when we are too prepared to forego our own well-being in order to achieve this. We also assume the burdens of other people as our own. We might carry it out automatically without giving it any thought. I want my family to function well and for everyone to be successful in their endeavors. I am very aware of their failures. I can see their difficulties, and I wish to remove them. I can see the tension in their relationships and their anger with one another, and I want to jump in, point out all the patterns I've noticed, justify their actions to them, and let them know why they're having problems. But I cannot. Let's face it, no one enjoys hearing that they are wrong or are having issues. Nobody enjoys having their psychological underpinnings exposed. An INFJ is aware that our advice is frequently not well received. It can be particularly difficult for an INFJ youngster to discuss this matter with their parents because, well, we're younger. We are the kids. It won't likely be perceived as wisdom, but rather as interfering, hubris, or bravado. For the INFJ, relationships will always be intense, and managing everyone's dynamics and emotions in a family setting can be challenging. Being the sole INFJ in a group can feel lonely and gloomy. I'm still figuring out how to cope with my circumstances. Sometimes I use a severe vocal monologue to dissuade myself from interpreting a circumstance or statement, such as, "No, Amy, that is not what he meant." Give up trying to find the hidden message. Stop. It might also be beneficial to express your thoughts and feelings in writing or by talking to a trusted friend or counselor. INFJs need to learn coping mechanisms, even though I realize it's easier said than done. Even if it means coercing ourselves to temporarily turn off that analyst's brain and raise that mental barrier.